ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Frank Omalape. President Goodluck Jonathan late last night briefed former head of state on efforts to find hundreds of girls abducted from Chibok, Borno State by insurgents. The former leaders also committed themselves to supporting Jonathan and the Borno State government to get the girls back to their parents. Presidency spokesman Reuben Abati says in a statement that they also offer help in stemming the tide of insurgency in the country. The former heads of state present were Generals Yakubu Gowon, Abdulsalami Abubakar, and Muhammadu Buhari, Ellen Shoneko, and Sheikh Shagari were also present alongside the Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima. Ibrahim Babangida and former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who is also working on securing the release of the girls, were absent. Eminent constitutional lawyer Issa Sage has condemned the religious toga being branded around the choice of who stepped into the shoes of Babatunde Fashola as the next governor of Lagos State. Sage will make this known against the backdrop of course in some quarters that religion is a primus factor, says performance should be the yardstick for measuring success.
A Muslim governor does not build Muslim roads for Muslims to use alone. We all use the roads, we all use the hospitals, we all use the schools. Let us go for the best person regardless of his religion. And let this primitive and backward pride be totally ignored. Let us go for the best regardless of the religion.
The political landscape in Ekiti has been jolted with shock as a detachment of the Nigerian army drafted to the state for security in the forthcoming governorship election intercepted a truckload of voting materials ranging from ballot papers, INEC stamps and reflective jackets of the Electoral Commission. This nearly led to another fist carve as relevant agencies threw blames over the discovery. Rashid was there and now reports.
Leader of the Nigerian Army Detachment Team, Ali Momo, says the truck was intercepted on its way out of Ekiti State.
You have this as INEC stamp, and you have this as stamps that is currently in use. And what is curious about this issue is that you cannot claim that 2014 stamp is a waste material, is it? Yeah. So here we are. But then we have a limit to this issue. I'm saying this because my colleagues, the state security services, they are here, who will determine where this device before you originated from and the destination.
Olufemi Ose, one of the people in the truck, explains that they were contracted to transport the materials from INEC office in Ado-Ekiti to Ogba in Lagos State for delivery.
And that man, I get the load. The person in print, that will be, I don't know the person in print that will be. But the only thing that they can't give me will be say, Nama will be done ready.
But from the INEC office in Ekiti, you loaded this thing?
Yes.
When did you start loading?
Now, this one, they start loading.
Where is that? 7 days. We have to carry it to where?
Lagos.
Lagos?
Yes.
Where in Lagos?
For Ogba side.
Where in Ogba?
For if I reach Ogba, that woman see me calling. That number woman deal with me, yes.
Okay. So we have the information of what the APC is planning to do. They want to cause mayhem in the state. They want to make the state unsuitable for a free and fair election. In fact, they want a situation whereby the INEC will say that election conducted in maybe one local government or the other is inconclusive.
Well, we all know the PDP for what it is, and we all know that the PDP is the Lord of rigging in Nigeria. Every Nigerian knows. I want to urge the security agencies, the Nigerian Army, the Department of State Security, the Nigerian Police, all security agencies, to be on the lookout and to watch out for people.
Waste papers that have been auctioned to the auctioneer called Brian and Buckley Nigeria Limited. It is approved by the National Commission for this company to really come and evacuate these obsolete, materials to enable us prepare, for this coming election.
On the fact that they were not moving with any kind of security.
They do not need any security. Are they going to be used? They are wastes. So what security are we going to provide for obsolete and wasted?
Still in Ekiti State, where governorship election is due on the 21st of June, Rashid met with the former governor of Ondo State, Bamidele Olumilua, who spoke on what June 12 stands for and the lessons for the forthcoming poll. The report.
With the declaration of June 12 as public holiday in the states controlled by the All Progressive Congress, Ekiti State inclusive, the city of Ado was serene as all corporate and government institutions were closed down. Having in mind the importance of June 12, 1993, a short trip to Ikere Ekiti, the home country of the former governor of Ondo State under the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Bamidele Ishola Olumilua, was inevitable. Olumilua spoke on his lifelong view of the annulled June 12 election.
June 12 is significant in many more ways than we can express in one day. In our march to government of the people, by the people, for the people, which is called democracy, we reach a peak, a point where the people believe that irrespective of your tribe, ethnic and religious faiths or whatever else, there are people who are worthy to be supported. And for the first time in this nation, we had a candidate from the West who was supported all over the country. The quantity of disagreement that tore the country apart started. And we began at our ABC again. We have been struggling since then. They are saying this party is corrupt. This party is the one who nominated this man. This party has reigned for so long, we should change. And the controversies have reigned since then. So it is significant that we are witnessing another June 12 and we remember those horrible days.
Being in the eye of the storm during the post-June 12 struggle, Olumilua is at hand to compare happenings of the aftermath of the June 12 election to what might be obtainable in the forthcoming June 21st governorship election in Ekiti if the right things are left undone.
June 12 of MK, we were prominent. Shegun Oshoba and myself were the two governors who signed for state security that MKO should be allowed to return to Nigeria. It's on record. The 6 security boys called me and said, we must give them an assurance that there will be peace. June 21 this year, we have been praying about it too. Not in concerted way with the parties, but in our individual prayer point, we have been saying, Lord, peace. Because without peace, there can't be prosperity. Because we have a saying here, when a situation of crisis and pandemonium arises, you know what we are saying? When in a situation of crisis and war, you want to carry your child, but you take a dog. Because people will be so confused. We have been praying about it.
In the wake of the June 12, 1993 election, the role of the then National Electoral Commission and the security agencies in the annulment of the election and the struggles thereof cannot be forgotten in a jiffy. Bamidele Olumilua thus sounds a note of warning to the Independent National Electoral Commission and the police in the forthcoming June 21st governorship election in Ekiti.
NINEC, he says, I will be fair to everybody. I will provide a level playing ground for you. Come on, I will do it. Have they been doing it? So even the letters, the constitution that they say they are depending on to make all sorts of decisions, are they following it? You are in the position of somebody who should see right and call it right, and not see wrong and call it right. You are to bring peace, not to lock up. We encourage a good number of these officers and these policemen to go and read their Bible or read their Quran so that they may know that the fear of God will overcome everything. So they should be just, they should be free, they should be fair, they should not be on the back of anybody because they are giving money.
June 12 is no doubt a symbolic day in the political life of Nigeria. Ekiti on June 21 is having another date with history, which is in every line like that of the June 12th, except that the June 12 elections is national and that of the June 21st is only in Ekiti. All other indices to make it successful or otherwise like June 12 are the same. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ikere Ekiti.
The bustling atmosphere, which normally characterized the home of the Abiolas when the head of the family was alive, has completely disappeared. 21 years after his death, the home and even the neighborhood has remained a shadow of its old self. Oluwase Adegoke visited the home and returned with this report from our studios.
Except for the garden, the home was largely devoid of the usual excitement seen around political events. This time, it was the turn of the June 12 movement of Nigeria. In an interaction tagged Forward Movement of Nigeria is Against Backwardness, the Speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly, Adeyemi Kuforiji, says Nigeria's progress demands a collective responsibility.
Knowledge is the vehicle of forward movement, another name for development. Education is the driver. For us to have the semblance of democracy that we have today.
Chairman of Amu Ward of a local government area in Lagos, Ayodele Adewale, enjoins Nigerians to be well organized for the forthcoming elections.
We must move forward, move away from all of these repeated histories that we've been told. We cannot continue to live along the path of history just alone. We must be part of history makers. And we must be defiant enough to bring about what June 12 was actually scripted for.
The late M.K. Abiola's daughter, Efset, described her father as a great Nigerian patriot who wished a Nigeria of everyone's dream.
That we have to learn the lesson that we have within Nigeria, leaders who are ready to sacrifice for Nigeria, who believe in a greater Nigeria, not in their own self-interest. And we should try to put those kinds of leaders in authority, in power, so that Nigeria can be the Nigeria we all hope for.
The Guardian charged Nigerians to carry on the spirit of hope towards the forthcoming general elections.
Increasing cases at different electoral tribunals is evident of lack of credibility in the Nigeria's electoral process. Constitutional lawyer Sage stated this while delivering the lecture titled 1993 Presidential Election, Lessons and Challenges for the Fourth Republic. Abiola Lowale's report is presented from our studios.
Only 21 years ago, Nigerians filed out in large number to participate in the annual June 12, 1993 presidential election, presumably won by late MKO Abiola. The nationwide condemnation and protests that trailed the annulment of the election by Ibrahim Babangida-led military junta culminated in the enthronement of democratic government in 1999. Delivering a lecture titled 1993 Presidential Election, Lessons and Challenges for Fourth Republic constitutional lawyer Sage says the only way to liberate Nigeria from the current leadership deficit facing the country is for the citizens to make sure they did not cast their ballots on emotion and in sympathy, but for those that have the capacity to make life better for them.
I feel so sad about our present condition that I also look back to the First Republic when our founding fathers were in charge. Chief Awolowo, Samadu Bello, Dr. Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa looked at Nigeria under their control. And I found that there was a lot more personal commitment towards the government.
Proffering solutions to the challenges impeding good governance in the country, Ayo Paduko identifies corruption and insincerity as a bane of the problems that make the realization of June 12 impossible.
People in government realize that based on their performance or non-performance, they can be rewarded to remain in office or punished by being voted out, then the fear of the popular will of the people will fundamentally alter the shape, the content, and the character of governance in Nigeria.
Speaking in the same vein, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola encouraged Nigerians to take their destiny in their own hands and participating in the electoral process.
You know what? It is politicians that make decisions about whether you live or die because they manage security. They make the laws and the policies. Politicians will decide how much it costs to bury you because they make the laws that regulate cemeteries. They decide which hospital in which you are born because the laws are made in the House of Assembly and the National Assembly. They decide what kind of life your children will get. They decide who you can marry because there is a marriage law. And so on. They take every decision that affects your life, and you don't want to be involved.
As the nation commemorates the annulment of the June 12 presidential election, good governance remains the only way to make the day indelible on the minds of Nigerians.
Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has admonished Nigerians to be mindful of the processes that would guarantee a free and fair elections and usher in a leadership that will generally transform their lives ahead of the 2015 general elections. The governor made this assertion at a public lecture in commemoration of the 21st anniversary of June 12, 1993 presidential election put together by the Lagos State Council of Nigerian Union of Journalists. Olajumoke Olantoji was there for CoreTV and our reports.
Speaking before a large crowd dominated by journalists, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, who was a guest lecturer, advises Nigerians to appreciate the importance of speaking with one voice in order to guide jealously the democracy which people like the martyr of June 12, Moshood Abiola, fought and died for.
I therefore urge progressive forces to set aside, like we did on June 12, ethnic differences, religious sentiments, and personal ambition to build a new Nigeria where every citizen has the opportunity to be what they want to be, to earn a decent living, and where the elderly, disabled, and the unemployed are assisted by the states. Let us be united to build a new Nigeria where preference will be given only to the content of our character and not to the parochial sentiments and considerations.
For Ahmed, part of what the June 12 taught Nigerians was the ability to succeed in any part of the country without leaning on religion and ethnic sentiments.
The national security issue is challenging as it is today, as we see what is going on in the northeastern part of the country. But we must remember that it is a collective responsibility, and we must all put our hands devoid of religious, ethnic sentiments to ensure that we take these things out of our democratic system.
Chairman of the Lagos branch of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Deji Elumoye, also emphasized the unity signified by June 12 across Nigeria.
June 12 to us is the democracy day, not the May 29. What is secret about May 29? May 29 was when military handed over to the civilian. But June 12 was a watershed. It was the only day that Nigerians unanimously voted for a man of their choice without thinking about religion, without thinking about race or whatever. And since then, we believe if that kind of unity can still come back to Nigeria, it will be a good thing.
A journalist, Wahid Odushile, speaks on the huge lessons surrounding June 12.
Leaders, they should rise above sentiments, personal, parochial sentiments. But that's the only way, that's the only thing that can save us as a nation. We should see ourselves first as Nigerians. And anything Nigerian, we should be resolute in our defense and in upholding anything that is called Nigeria that will bring this country together.
The June 12 struggle has been described by many as one that reinforces the fact that the actions or inactions of anybody in any revolution play a huge part in determining the shape of or balance of forces in the political history of nations around the world. Olajumoke Olantoji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The annual Osun June 12 rally was held in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, in commemoration of the 1993 annulled presidential elections. Bid Okoro was at the rally and now report.
Following the death of the late MKO Abiola in 1998 and the subsequent inception of a democratic government in 1999, every June 12 is characterized by various events, rallies and lectures in Nigeria, most especially in the southwestern states of the Federation. The popular Mandela Freedom Park in the Osun State capital, Osogbo, played host to several hundreds of the state's residents who converged to mark the day alongside their governor, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, and his deputy. In his keynote address, Aregbesola stated the importance of the day to the people of Osun State and indeed his administration.
That we can prevent the bitterness, the pains, the sorrow that accompanied the annulment of June 12 election. And it is for us to domesticate the lesson of that annulment and the consequences of it, that we celebrate this every year.
He went further to explain the correlation between MKO Abiola's visions with that of his government to delivering more dividends of democracy.
What we promised in 2007 before the election were the things Abiola promised in 1993. Exactly the same thing. Hope for a new society. Hope for the generations yet unborn. Hope for the black man to stand with his head tall and proud anywhere in the world.
In the same vein, the state's deputy governor, Titilayo Tomori, says that in no distant time, June 12 would be acknowledged by the federal government as the nation's Democracy Day.
When June 12 will be universally adopted as a Democracy Day. That was the day when all Nigerians, irrespective of the state of origin or ethnicity, rose up and declared Chief MKO Abiola the winner of the presidential election. And it is remarkable that we found the day unique in the state of Osun.
Member of the Osun June 12 Organizing Committee, Wale Fola, stressed the relevance and significance of the annual June 12 rally in Osun State.
We are looking forward to a national monument. After declaring June 12 as a national holiday, a national monument should be put in place or renamed in the name of Chief MKO Abiola just to honor him. The people have honored him, and we are honoring him every June 12. And we are honoring the masses of Nigeria that spoke with one voice that day.
So 21 years after the annulled 1993 presidential elections, every June 12, the Osun State people gather here at the Mandela Freedom Park in Osogbo to mark the day and to urge the federal government to declare it the real Democracy Day. Bidokoro, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a short break. We'll be back right after this time out. Stay with us.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
News and other programs, like our Facebook page is facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And also on YouTube, it's www.youtube.com/CoreTV /space News. Outside Nigeria now, U.S. President Barack Obama says that his national security team was looking at all the options as the crisis in Iraq unfolds with Arab jihadis pushing towards Baghdad. He also emphasized the jihadis' offensive should be a wake-up call for the Iraqi government. The United States pledged to boost aid to Iraq, and one U.S. official revealed to journalists that Washington was weighing several possibilities for more military assistance, including drone strikes. In a lightning offensive, jihadis from the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant have swept up north-central Iraq, including the second city, Mosul.
There will be some short-term, immediate things that need to be done militarily, and our national security team is looking at all the options. But this should be also a wake-up call for the Iraqi government. What we've seen over the last couple of days indicates the degree to which Iraq's going to need more help. It's going to need more help from us, and it's going to need more help from the international community. So my team is working around the clock to identify how we can provide the most effective assistance to them. I don't rule out anything because we do have a stake in making sure that these jihadists are not getting a permanent foothold in either Iraq or Syria, for that matter. Frankly, over the last several years, we have not seen the kind of trust and cooperation develop between moderate Sunni and Shia leaders inside of Iraq, and that accounts in part for some of the weakness of the state, and that then carries over into their military capacity.
And that's it on CoreTV News at 7. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Bye for now.